So the Premier League is back and Manchester City are back as well, as we have just beaten Wolverhampton Wanderers 4-0 in our opening match. And overall, I've got to say, a very exciting game, and there are many things to be very excited by going into the new season. But let's talk about the positives, because it was obviously a very positive scoreline that we had today, and we'll get onto the negatives in a little bit. Let's talk about the positives first. And we've got Tijjani Reijnders as the #1 positive that we have to talk about in this video, because he was absolutely sensational today. I was so positive when we signed him that he was going to have a very good impact on the City team, and we are seeing it in the opening day. It's just unbelievable. He was involved in pretty much every goal. The first goal, it was a lovely bit of composure to take it through the two players in midfield to break that line, and then that little scoop pass over the top into the path of Rico before he sets it up for Erling Haaland. He really made that goal today. And then the second goal was a great finish from him on the transition. He busts his gut to get up, make that run beyond, and then he receives the ball. And it's a great finish, to be fair. I think a lot of people maybe not even giving it the credit. The finish is really good across the body of the goalkeeper into the far corner with pace, and it's accurate. And it's 2-0 to Manchester City. And then for the third goal, a lovely little bit of combination between him and bobb down that right-hand side. He then puts it back into the path of Erling Haaland, who dispatches it into the far corner. And overall, I just thought Tijjani Reijnders had such a profound impact on the game today. Not only just in an attacking sense, but I thought he also kept things ticking along in the midfield and did his defensive work in there really well as well today. And alongside him in the midfield, I thought Nico Gonzalez was absolutely sensational today. I've been calling for him to start a lot more in the midfield, especially in the absence of Rodri, and I thought he did a great job in there today. Really filled the boots of Rodri, and as I said, I've been asking for him to start, and that's the exact reason. He's got the physicality to be able to cover ground in the midfield. He can make a tackle as well, and he's got technical ability. He's really good at receiving the ball in tight areas as well. So I thought Nico Gonzalez also had a great performance today, and I think it shows us that without Rodri in the midfield, we still have two players in there, in Gonzalez and Reijnders, who can run games in the midfield for us, which is scary if you're an opponent to Manchester City. And then of course Erling Haaland, the robot, scored 2 goals today, and he got, I think, maybe 3 big chances in the game. He took 2 of them. That first chance he got, I do think he should have scored though. There was one where the ball gets put back across from Bernardo Silva. It's a little dinked ball into the box. Erling Haaland, he does have to kind of adjust himself to get his head on it. It's a little bit of an awkward one, but it's an empty net. He should be getting on the end of it. He should be directing that into the back of the net. But it doesn't matter because he did score 2 more goals. Harder chances actually, or not the first one. The first one was a tap in at the back post, but the second one was definitely a harder chance. A really good finish into the far corner after the Tijjani Reijnders layoff. He still had a lot to do, and it was a great finish, hard, low, into the far corner. And I thought that overall, while Haaland didn't have that much to do in the game, when he was called upon to score the goals, he turned up, and that's what he does best. But a player I really do want to talk about from the game today is bobb. I thought bobb was phenomenal. Yes, of course, he only had 1 assist, but his overall play today was absolutely mesmerizing to watch at times. The ability he has in tight spaces to carry the ball, find those passes and link up with teammates, and the way that he can just go around players and just run rings around people, it's so good to watch. And I genuinely believe that he is one of the most underrated young talents in world football at the moment, because that performance from him today showed me exactly what I have been saying about him for a year whilst he's been injured, that he is just ready. He's ready to take that next step in his career. And today he showed it, and I have a feeling he's going to have a very good season this season, because what he showed us today was absolutely sensational, honestly. The way he can carry the ball, link up with teammates, create chances. He is going to be a handful for any fullback in the Premier League this season. And then, of course, there's Cherki as well, who got his goal today. A lovely little flick around the corner, a little bit of innovation, which is just what Cherki is all about. He's all about those little flicks in tight spaces and those maverick kind of movements. That's what he's got in his locker. He does that for the first goal, or his first goal for the club, I should say, the 4th goal in the game. That little flick around the corner to Nico O'Reilly. Nico O'Reilly then gets challenged by the Wolves player. The ball falls back into Cherki's path, and then he fires it into the far corner. It's a great finish on the edge of the box from Cherki. And I think he showed us what he's all about in those couple of minutes that he did get on the pitch. I thought he was really good. And ultimately, I'm so excited to see more from Ryan Cherki. We can't really talk that much more about him because he didn't get as many minutes today. But I think he showed us that we should be very excited about Ryan Cherki for the remainder of this season. And honestly, I think we're going to score so many goals this season. I really do, because you just look at the talent that we've got in the final third of the pitch. You look at Reijnders getting involved today, and he also got involved in the game against Palermo as well. But you got players like Oscar Bobb, you got marmoush, Haaland, you've got Doku, who wasn't at his best today, but he'll get better absolutely throughout the season. You've got Phil Foden still to come back. I mean, the options are ridiculous. And Cherki as well, I didn't mention. All of these players can't fit in one team. So across a season, these players are going to have so much attacking output potential that I honestly think that we could score so many goals this season. And yes, we've left the back door a little bit open, which I'm about to talk about today, where we did concede a few chances. But I think that this season is going to be very much like that. We are going to maybe concede a couple more chances, but we are going to score a lot as well. But let's talk about defense, because that was an interesting point from the game today. And especially in the first 30 minutes of the game, we did look incredibly vulnerable to transitions. Wolverhampton Wanderers were hitting us in transitions, and they had a couple of opportunities. They scored a goal offside. And ultimately, it was a little bit worrying throughout the game. The one thing I will note, though, is because of our high line and because of the way we played with the high line, very, very high line, it did mean that a lot of these opportunities that Wolverhampton got were offside. And that is the whole purpose of the high line, is to catch people offside. So there is an element of that where, you know, at times we did look like we were very easy to get in behind, but then there was a lot of times that they were offside. So I still think that we have room to improve defensively for sure. We're not squeaky clean, and I do think against a better team, there is potential there for teams to hurt us. But I also do think that we had individual good performances today. I thought that Diaz and Stones at the back were relatively good. I don't think they really put much of a foot wrong throughout the game. Ait-Nouri was a little bit defensively vulnerable, I'd say, in the first half, but in the second half, he kind of cleaned up his act a little bit. Matheus Nunes, when he came on, wasn't too bad defensively. I don't think he got tested that much. Rico Lewis as well, I thought he was pretty good overall in the game, although his influence in the game was more going forward. But a player that I thought was really good today was James Trafford. I thought James Trafford had a really good performance, and he actually showed, I think, today that he's maybe capable of being Manchester City's #1 sooner than a lot of people thought. I thought he was really confident. You know, there was that one moment where he did almost get caught out on the line, which we have seen by Edison before, but he almost got caught out ponderously with the ball at his feet on the line, and that was something that did happen in the box as well against Palermo. So that is something to keep an eye on. However, overall, outside of that, I thought it was superb. There was a chance offside, which he saved one-on-one, which was an absolutely unbelievable save. There were a couple balls that were put into the box, which I thought he claimed really well. He showed confidence. He came out and swept as well, out from the back. He came outside of his box and read the game really well and made sure that he got those clearances. So I think overall there's a lot of optimism around James Trafford with that performance today. I thought he was very impressive, and as I said, the more you watched him in the game, I gotta say, the more you became confident that he could become Manchester City's #1 sooner than maybe some of us think. But yeah, overall, a really exciting game today. I think we showed a lot of attacking flair. I thought we were really exciting overall, and I think it's given us a glimpse into what we could be going throughout the season. A very attacking team is what I'll say. The signs were in this game was going to play a very high line throughout the season. I think, to be honest, we need Khusanov in there if we're going to be playing that high line consistently because of his pace and recovery. But I think that on top of that as well, we are going to score so many goals. The technical ability, some of the give and goes that you're witnessing between players, the understanding, the movement. It's a joy to watch at times. And yes, some people can say it's only Wolverhampton, but I think what you're watching out there is genuine top-class footballers combining with absolutely absurd technical ability. And I think when you add Phil Foden back into the mix as well, I think he could thrive from that type of environment. So I'm very optimistic coming into the new season. I'm very excited by what I saw today. 4 massive goals. I thought it was overall a very good performance, a very positive performance as well. Definitely some things to take away from it defensively, I do think. But overall, a really positive performance. 4-0, 2 goals for Haaland, a goal for Reijnders, and a goal for Cherki. I couldn't really have asked too much more in the attacking side of things. Let me know what you guys think. Who was your man of the match? For me, it was Tijjani Reijnders. But yeah, let me know in the comments below all of what you thought about the game today. and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.